How are you guys doing? It is Wednesday, August 26, 2020, out here in this quarantine. For today's episode, for today's installment of The Elite, I'm going to get into everything that happened yesterday. There was playoff basketball, playoff hockey, WNBA bubble games going on, and there was also baseball going on. So first, I'm going to start off with the two playoff games yesterday because, of course, only 13 teams remain. 3 teams have already advanced, all out of the West. So far, it's been the 2-seed Raptors, the 3-seed Boston Celtics, and the 5-seed Miami Heat are the only teams out of advance. Starting with the first game, Utah led 3-1 going into the series, and the Denver Nuggets were able to get the best of them, beating them 117-107 to win their second game of the series. Utah still leads the series 3-2, but the Nuggets play with their literal backs against the wall, and they survive another game. For the Utah Jazz, Jordan Clarkson came off the bench with 17 points in 26 minutes. Additionally, Royce O'Neal had 10 points, 4 rebounds, 3 assists, and 3 steals. Rudy Gobert, their elite center, had 11 points, 12 rebounds, 2 assists, and a block as he shot 4 for 9 from the field, 3 for 4 from the free throw line. Joe Ingles, their shooting guard, finished with 13 points, 3 rebounds, 3 assists, and 2 steals as he shot 5 for 8 from the field in 33 minutes. Mike Conley, the Utah point guard, finished with 17 points, 5 assists as he shot 5 for 12 from the field, 2 for 6 from 3, and 5 for 6 from the free throw line. The big performance will come from Donovan Mitchell, the Utah Jazz elite shooting guard, who finished with 30 points and 5 assists. He shot 11 for 23 from the field, 4 for 8 from 3, and 4 for 5 from the free throw line in 38 minutes. It just simply wasn't enough as Denver was just continually putting it on. Big performance off the bench from their forward, Michael Porter Jr., who played 34 minutes, finished with 15 points, 5 rebounds, an assist, a steal, and a block. Additionally, Grant would finish with 13 points and 6 rebounds for the Nuggets as he played 40 minutes. Nikola Jokic, the Denver Nuggets elite center, would finish with 31 points, 6 rebounds, and 4 assists and a block. In 43 minutes, he shot 12 for 19 from the field, 7 for 11 from 3, didn't even take a free throw. Jamal Murray had probably the best game of the night. Amazing performance. Tip my hat to him. He finished with 42 points, 8 rebounds, 8 assists in 41 minutes as he shot 17 for 26 from the field, 4 for 8 from 3, and he made all 4 of his free throw attempts. With this win, like I said, the Nuggets have now won their second game of the series. After winning their first and Utah winning the next 3, the Nuggets were able to show that, they're still there. And as of right now, the Nuggets are still not eliminated. So, that's a whole thing as well. Going on to the second game of the night, the Los Angeles Clippers were able to best the Dallas Mavericks, beating them 154-111, a 43-point win as the Clippers were able to get their third win of the series, and they broke the series tie. For the Dallas Mavericks, Reggie Jackson would finish with 11 points off the bench, along with 3 rebounds and 5 assists. Montrezl Harrell will come off the bench with 19 points and 11 rebounds in 23 minutes. Out of the starters, Landry Shamet would finish with 11 points and 4 rebounds. Ivica Zubac would finish with 9.7 rebounds in 24 minutes. Marcus Morris Sr. would finish with 12 points, 6 rebounds, and 4 assists. Kawhi Leonard, the Clippers' elite small forward, would finish with 32 points, 7 rebounds, and 4 assists. And Paul George, their elite small shooting guard, would come back with a 35-point performance in 25 minutes, where he shot 12 for 18 from the field, 4 for 8 from 3, and he made all 7 of his free throws with 3 rebounds, 2 assists. The fact that he scored 35 points in 25 minutes, I think he was probably the best performer of the night. Big win for the Clippers. It was much needed, and after both games, there's been no eliminations. On one side, Denver avoided elimination, and then for the second one, the Clippers are now 1 game away from eliminating the Dallas Mavericks. There are still no eliminations in the West, by the way, just to give you a glimpse into what basketball games to look forward to, because like I said, 13 teams remain, and there are teams that are vulnerable to getting eliminated today. First off, at 4 o'clock, the first seed Milwaukee Bucks take on the 8th seed Orlando Magic, and the Milwaukee Bucks look to finish the series off. The Magic won the first series, the Milwaukee's won the last 3. Going to 6:30, the series between the 4th seed Houston Rockets and the fifth seed Oklahoma City Thunder is tied at 2. They face off at 6:30 on TNT. Oklahoma's won the last 2 after Houston took the first 2. And at 9 o'clock, after the Trailblazers took a 1-0 series lead, the Lakers won the last 3, and the Lakers look to close it up today at 9 o'clock. And they have the opportunity to be the first team from the West to clinch a spot in the second round of the playoffs. Before I move on to the other sports, I'm going to jump into the WNBA bubble just to give you a glimpse into what's going on over there. First off, starting with the New York Liberty, they were able to get their second win of the season, beating the Chicago Sky 101 to 99. After that snapped their 7-game losing streak. Amanda Zui finished with 22 points, 12 rebounds on the day as Ali quickly finished with 29 points. It wasn't enough. The Las Vegas Aces were able to get their 11th win of the season, beating the Dallas Wings 96 to 92 behind Aja Wilson's 26 points and 9 rebounds. Satu Sabali finished with 21 points and 11 rebounds for the Wings, but it just wasn't enough. The Wings now dropped to 5-10 on the season. And in the last game of the night, the Seattle Storm were able to continue their dominance at home, quote unquote. They're now 12-3 after beating the Fever 87 to 74, led by Brianna Stewart's 27 points and 9 rebounds. They're 12-3 on the season. So far, they're playing incredibly well. Looking forward to what games to look forward to today. The DC Mystics play the Atlanta Dream at 7 o'clock on ESPN2. The Sparks play the Lynx. Both those teams are playing pretty well. Sparks are 10-3. The Lynx are 9-4. They're playing on CBS Sports Network at 8 o'clock. And the Sun and the Mercury play after that at 10 o'clock. As the Sun are 6-8, the Mercury are 7-7. Both teams looking to bounce back from the start from starts they feel like they should have had a better shot at. Jumping to the Stanley Cup bubble for the first game of the night, the Tampa Bay Lightning were able to get the best of the Boston Bruins in overtime in Game 2 to even up their series at 1. Tampa Bay Lightning was the 2 seed. And they got revenge on the Bruins for beating them the other day. Of course, just big all-around win for the Tampa Bay Lightning in general. Tampa Bay center Blake Coleman would finish with 2 goals on the day. Palat would finish the goal as well. And Brad Marchand would score 2 goals for the Boston Bruins. Both teams scored a goal each in each period, but the Lightning were able to get the goal. They were able to get the golden goal in overtime to advance them. Now the series is tied at 1. Going on to the second game of the night, the Vancouver Canucks were able to get the best of the Vegas Golden Knights, tying their series up at 1 after scoring 5 goals on them. Great game overall from Vancouver right winger Tyler Toffoli. He had a goal and 2 assists. And of course, their center, Bo Horvat, finished with 2 goals as well. Big game for the Canucks as they, like I said, they even up that series with the Golden Knights. They're the 5th seed, and they're able to even it up with the 1 seed in the West. That takes a lot. And then looking forward to the games today because, of course, it's Wednesday. At 3 o'clock, the Islanders take on the Flyers for Game 2. The Islanders lead that series 1-0. They're looking to go up 2-0. At 8 o'clock, the Lightning play the Bruins, and that series is tied up at 1, as you saw from today. And the Avalanche play the Stars in their Game 3. Dallas Stars, they're the only series that's 2-0 right now. Dallas has a chance to make it 3-0, or the Avalanche have a chance to at least make it or to bring the series within a game. So that's everything that's going on with hockey right before I jump to baseball because there was a big day in baseball that happened yesterday. Starting out in the Central, the Cleveland Indians were able to beat the Minnesota Twins last night and get their 18th win of the season, beating them 4-2. Big start and big pitching performance from Cleveland starter Shane Bieber, who is now 6-0 after recording 10 strikeouts and allowing 2 runs in 6 innings. Even just going down to their hitting, their third baseman, Jose Ramirez, who finished 2-for-4 with 2 runs. Francisco Lindor finished 1-for-4 with 2 RBIs and a run as he hit his 5th home run of the season. Big game for the Indians. Brad Hand would get his 8th save. He would get his 8th save. For the Twins, not much hitting, but like I said, with this loss, they're now 20-11, and with this win, the Cleveland Indians are now 8-12. Let me jump out to the NL Central for their matchup because there were 3 interleague games. The Milwaukee Brewers hosted the Cincinnati Reds and were able to beat them 3-2. Brandon Woodruff got his 2nd win of the season as he struck out 8 batters, only allowed 2 runs in 6 innings pitched. Josh Hader, their elite reliever, would pick up his 7th save of the season. I mean, for the Brewers, they had two RBIs from Mike Moustakas, who finished 1 for 4 with two RBIs. He had the two RBIs of the game. Luis Castillo would also have a good starting outing. He would strike out 9 batters, only allow 1 earned run, but the Milwaukee Brewers scored 3 times. He picked up his fourth loss. He's now 0-4 in the league. But by the way, even going out to the Brewers, their elite designated hitter Christian Yelich, like I said, would finish 1-for-4 with a run. With this win, the Brewers are 13-5, and with this loss, the Reds are now 11-7. Now jumping out to the interleague games, first starting out in Detroit, the Detroit Tigers were able to get the best of the Chicago Cubs, beating them 7-1 last night. Spencer Turnbull would allow no runs in his first 5.2 innings of work as he struck out 5. Jonathan Schoop, their second baseman, would finish 1-for-4 with 4 RBIs on the day. He had a home run in the 6th. Probably a grand slam. Big game for him. For the Cubs, their elite shortstop, Javi Baez, would finish 1-for-4 on the day. With this loss, the Cubs are now 18-11, and with this win, the Detroit Tigers are 12-16. Of course, jumping out to St. Louis for this intrastate matchup, the Kansas City Royals were able to best the St. Louis Cardinals 5-4 to give them their 12th win of the season. Dozier would finish Dozier, their right fielder, would finish 1-for-3 with 2 runs on the day. O'Hearn, their first baseman, Ryan O'Hearn, would finish 3-for-4 with 2 RBIs and 2 runs as he hit his first home run of the season last night. Mick Broom would finish with 2 RBIs as he finished 2-for-4. And then Matt Harvey would make his start, but he would allow 4 runs in the first 2.2 innings, and then in the third inning, but they wouldn't allow any more runs the rest of the game. Great pitching performance from Kansas City relief. And for the St. Louis Cardinals, their elite first baseman, Paul Goldschmidt, would go 0-for-4 with a run on the day, and he was walked. Edman had 2 RBIs on the day. With this loss, the Cardinals are 10-9, and like I said, with this win, the Royals are now 12-8. And of course, jumping out to the last inter-squad NL Central, AL Central matchup of the night, of course, including the pitching performance of the night. Lucas Giolito would pick up his 3rd win of the season as the White Sox not only shut out the Pirates, they didn't allow them to get a single hit. Lucas Giolito would walk 1 batter and strike out 13 as he pitched 9 full innings, not allowing a single hit. The 19th ever no-hitter in Chicago White Sox history. And also to his aid on the hitting perspective, Tim Anderson, their shortstop, would finish 1-for-3 with an RBI. Eloy Jimenez, their left fielder, would finish 2-for-4 with an RBI. James McCann would finish 1-for-2 with an RBI. And Luis Robert would finish 3-for-4 with a run. With this win, the White Sox are 18-12. With this loss, the Pirates are 7-18 in the Central. Jumping out to the AL West, the Houston Astros hosted the Los Angeles Angels for a doubleheader. In the first game, the Houston Astros were able to beat the Angels 6-3. From just going down with their pitchers, Javier would get his 3rd win of the season. He pitched 5.2 innings, struck out 5, only allowed 3 earned runs. For the Angels, Suarez would pick up the loss. For the Angels, Mike Trout, their elite center fielder, would finish 0-for-3. Rendon, their elite third baseman, would finish 0-for-3. Albert Pujols would finish 1-for-3. For the Houston Astros, their elite second baseman, Jose Altuve, would finish 1-for-2 with 2 runs and 2 walks on the day. Their shortstop, Carlos Correa, would finish 1-for-3 with a run, just stuff like that. Mayfield, their third baseman, would finish with 2 RBIs. With this first win, the Astros pick up their 17th win. And at the second game of this doubleheader, the Angels were able to pick up their 10th win as they beat the Astros 12-5 in 7 innings. Tehran will get the start, Pena will get the win. B-Lock gets his 2nd loss of the season as he gave up 3 earned runs and not even a full inning. The Angels scored 4 in the first inning to kind of get going, and they kind of just left the Astros behind. For the Astros, their elite second baseman, Jose Altuve, would go 0-for-3 on the day. Gurriel would finish 2-for-3. Kyle Tucker would finish 2-for-3 with an RBI. But of course, this time it was the Angels. For the Angels, their elite center fielder, Mike Trout, would finish 1-for-4 with 2 RBIs. David Fletcher would finish with 2 RBIs. Shohei Ohtani would finish with 2 RBIs as he went 2-for-4. Additionally, Brian Goodwin would finish with 3 RBIs. With this win, the Angels are now 10-22, and following the doubleheader, the Houston Astros are now 17-14 in the AL West. Of course, staying out in the West, the Texas Rangers hosted the Oakland Athletics, but the Athletics were able to get the best of them, beating them 10-3 to get their 21st win of the season. For the Rangers, Gibson would pick up the losses. He gave up 7 runs. Solak would finish with 2 RBIs for the Rangers. For the Athletics, completely different story. Their shortstop Marcus Semien would finish 3 for 5 with 2 RBIs and 2 runs as he hit his 5th home run of the season. Also, Matt Olson hit his 10th home run of the season as the first baseman finished 2 for 4 with 2 RBIs and a run. Matt Chapman, their elite third baseman, would finish 0 for 3 on the night. But with this win, the Oakland A's are now 21-10. With this loss, the Rangers are now 11-18 in the AL West. And of course, going out to the last team in the AL West, the Seattle Mariners were hosted by the San Diego Padres, and they were able to get the win in San Diego, beating the Padres 8-3. Chris Paddock would pick up his 3rd loss of the season after allowing 6 runs in 5 innings. Marco Gonzalez picks up his 3rd win as he only allowed 3 runs and struck out 5 through 5 innings. For the San Diego Padres, their elite shortstop Fernando Tatis would finish 0 for 5. Their elite third baseman Manny Machado would finish 4 for 5 with a run. Eric Hosmer would finish 1 for 5 with 2 RBIs as he hit his 6th home run of the season. For the Seattle Mariners, it was Crawford. It was J.P. Crawford, the shortstop, who finished 2 for 4 with 3 RBIs and 2 runs. Big game for him as he hit his 1st home run of the season. Austin Nola hit his 5th home run of the season as the catcher finished 3 for 5 with an RBI and 2 runs. Evan White had 2 home runs. Or he had 2 RBIs, I'm sorry. With this win, the Mariners are 12-19, and the Padres now drop to 18-13. Of course, moving to Phoenix, the Colorado Rockies were able to get a win against the Arizona Diamondbacks to get back to 500. For the Arizona Diamondbacks, Cole Calhoun would walk 3 times. Peralta would finish 2 for 5. The only player to get 2 RBIs was their right fielder, John Jay, who finished 1 for 3 on the night. For the Colorado Rockies, it would be Marquez with the start, but Diaz with the win. For them, Trevor Story would finish 2 for 4 with 2 runs. Their elite third baseman, Nolan Arenado, would finish 2 for 5 with 2 RBIs and 2 runs on the night. With this win, the Colorado Rockies are 15-15, and with this loss, the Arizona Diamondbacks are now 13-18. Now going to San Francisco, where there was the best hitting performance of the night and the best play of the night. The San Francisco Giants were able to beat the Los Angeles Dodgers in the 11th inning. First off, thanks to an RBI single from Evan Longoria, but then Donovan Solano hit a 2-run home run in the bottom of the 11th to win the game for the San Francisco Giants in a very, very big game for them. For the Los Angeles Dodgers, Urias would make the start. He would allow 4 earned runs in 4 innings pitched. He would get a no decision. Their elite right fielder, Mookie Betts, would finish 1 for 6, striking out twice. Corey Seager, their shortstop, would finish 2 for 6 with an RBI and 2 runs as he hit his 8th home run of the season. So did Max Muncy as the first baseman, finished 1 for 4 with 3 RBIs. Justin Turner, their third baseman, finished 4 for 6 with 3 runs. Cody Bellinger, the Dodgers' elite center fielder, finished 3 for 6 with a run on the day. The Dodgers hitters were still getting it done. They just weren't doing it just like the Giants were. For the Giants, Cueto would get the start. He would allow 6 runs and 4 innings pitched, so he didn't get the win. For them, their right fielder, Yastrzemski, would finish 0 for 6 with a run. Evan Longoria, their third baseman, who won an MVP way back for the Tampa Bay Rays, he finished 4 for 5 with an RBI and 4 runs on the night. The hitting performance of the night would go to Brandon Belt, the San Francisco Giants first baseman, who finished 4 for 5 with 5 RBIs and 2 runs. As he hit 2 home runs last night, he now has 5 on the season. 1 off Urias in the first inning and 1 off Kenley Jansen in the 9th to tie the game up at 6 to send it into extra innings in the first place. Amazing hitting performance, and with this win, the San Francisco Giants are 15-16, and the Dodgers picked up their 9th loss of the season. They're now 22-9 on the season. Jumping back out to the NL East, the Miami Marlins, the New York Mets also had a doubleheader. In the first game, the Marlins shut out the Mets 4-0. Of course, behind their starters, Castano would pitch almost 5 innings, and he would allow no runs at all. Because they shut him out as a team. But of course, big game from Rojas. Miguel Rojas would have 2 RBIs in the day as he went 1 for 3. Brinson had an RBI as he went 2 for 3. For the Mets, their elite first baseman, Pete Alonso, would go 0 for 3 with a walk. And going on to the second game of the doubleheader, the Miami Marlins were able to shut out the Mets again. This time they shut them out 3-0. Rogers would pitch 4 innings. He'd strike out 6 and allow no earned runs. He wouldn't get a decision, but Trevor Rogers did have an impressive game. An impressive start against the Mets. And once again, for the Mets, Pete Alonso, their elite designated hitter, would go 0 for 3 with a strikeout, and the Mets only had 4 collective hits as a team. The Marlins scored 3 runs with 2 hits as a team. Brian Anderson would finish with 2 RBIs as he went 1 for 2. With both of these wins, the Miami Marlins are now 14-11 in the NL East, and the New York Mets are 12-16. Jumping out to Washington, the Philadelphia Phillies were able to beat the Washington Nationals 8-3 to get their 11th win of the season. Jake Arrieta picked up his second win of the season. He struck out only 1 batter, only allowed 1 run in 5 innings. Just good. That's still an amazing start for him. For the Washington Nationals, their elite left fielder Juan Soto would go 0 for 3 with a walk on the day. Not much going on for the Nationals. I mean, Turner would finish 1 for 4 as he hit his 6th home run of the season. Adam Eaton hit his 3rd home run of the season as he hit a solo home run. He finished 2 for 4 on the day. For the Phillies, in addition to Arrieta pitching incredibly well, Andrew McCutchen, their left fielder, had a really, really good game. He finished 1 for 4 with 2 RBIs and 2 runs. Additionally, their catcher, JT Realmuto, finished 1 for 5 with 3 RBIs and a run as he had a 3-run home run in the 3rd inning. Like I said, big win for the Phillies. Like I said, the Phillies are now 11-4 with that win, and the Nationals are now 11-16 with that loss. Jumping out to the American League, in Buffalo, the Toronto Blue Jays hosted the Boston Red Sox, and the Red Sox were able to get their 10th win of the season. They're the last team in the AL East to win 10 games. For the Blue Jays, Anderson would make the start, and Cole would blow the save. Teoscar Hernandez would hit his 11th home run of the season as he finished 1 for 4 with an RBI and 2 runs. Their elite first baseman, Vladimir Guerrero Jr., would finish 1 for 5 with 2 RBIs on the day. Gurriel would finish with 2 RBIs, and so would Jansen, their catcher. For the Boston Red Sox, Alex Verdugo would have a good game. He finished 2 for 5 with an RBI and a run. Rafael Devers, their third baseman, finished 2 for 5 with 3 RBIs and a run. He struck out 3 times still. Big overall game. Mitch Moreland finished 2 for 3 with 2 RBIs and 2 runs. With this win, the Red Sox, like I said, are 10-20, and the Blue Jays are now 14-14. And going on to the last game of the night, the Tampa Bay Rays were able to hold off the Baltimore Orioles as they are the first team in the American League East to reach 20 wins. They beat them 4-2, just like I said. Tyler Glasnow would lead the way. Amazing pitching performance. He picked up his first win of the season as he struck out 13 batters in 7 innings, only allowed 2 runs, and behind him, the Rays were able to get their hits. Hunter Renfroe, their right fielder, finished 1 for 4 with 2 RBIs and 2 runs as he hit his 5th home run in the 2nd inning. And additionally, Margot would finish with an RBI as he hit his first home run of the year. With this win, the Tampa Bay Rays are 20-11, and with this loss, the Baltimore Orioles are now 14-15. And with that said, I'm going to jump in and show you what games to look forward to today because it is Wednesday. I mean, a lot of series are coming to ends. There's going to be some double headers. And it's just the middle of the baseball season where not every single team has played the same amount of games. So, I mean, that's always kind of interesting. So starting off at 2:10, the Dallas Keuchel looks to get his 5th win as the White Sox take on the league worst Pirates, who literally got no hit yesterday by the White Sox. Ian Anderson looks to make his Braves debut as they take on the Yankees and Garrett Cole in Game 1. And in Game 2, Masahiro Tanaka looks to pick up his first win as Max Fried has been tossing an amazing season, looks to pick up his 5th win of the season. Underrated, completely very elite pitching matchup at 6 o'clock as Aaron Nola and the Phillies take on Patrick Corbin and the Washington Nationals. Additionally, John Lester looks to pick up his 3rd win as the Cubs take on Michael Fulmer and the Tigers at 7 o'clock. Jose Barrios, coming off of his last start, is looking to pick up his 3rd win as the Twins take on the Indians, led by Mike Clevenger. Jacob deGrom looks to pick up his 3rd win of the season as the Mets take on the Marlins at 7 o'clock. Mike Fiers looks to pick up his 4th win as the A's take on the Rangers at 8:05. Sonny Gray is 4-1, looks to pick up his 5th win of the season as the Reds take on the Brewers at 8:10. Additionally, Taijuan Walker looks to take on Dinelson Lamet as the Mariners take on the Padres at 9:10. And last but not least, Clayton Kershaw, the GOAT level pitcher for the Los Angeles Dodgers, takes on Kevin Gausman tonight at 9:45 as the Dodgers look to extend their lead with the best record in the National League. But with that said, I appreciate you for listening to all 25 minutes of this piece. Once again, it is Wednesday, August 26, 2020 out here in this quarantine. I'm James Sims. Thank you for hearing my piece, and peace out.